When days of homework run together, when bills need paid and appliances fixed, when the car breaks down and dinner needs prepared, when I'm sitting at the hospital looking at my dad, who is hooked up to more machines than I can count, my mind returns to days long past. Days of play, of no stress, of little responsibilities. Days of when the biggest worry was where the mama cat had had her baby kittens. Childhood meant staying up late on warm summer nights, until the moon was high in the sky and mosquito bites covered my legs and most of the fireflies had been caught and released. Childhood meant popping tar bubbles on the road till my hands and feet had to be viciously scrubbed in the tub. Childhood meant all kinds of pretend adventures, while climbing trees, following trails in the woods, and running over freshly plowed fields. Simple days of laying in front of the fan, on hot summer days watching Emergency, Brady Bunch, and The Price is Right. Simple days of running through the creek with my dog, walking the top of my swing set, curling up on the couch eating popcorn, and reading books. Hundreds and hundreds of books. Memories of laying in the hot grass, with 5 or so kittens running and jumping and climbing over legs and stomach. Memories of putting on layers and layers of clothing, excited to be the first to put footsteps in the freshly fallen snow, and then regretful that the white smoothness was gone. Memories of building snow forts that had steps and slides. Memories of playing paper dolls, Barbies, and games, playing school with my dolls and pretending that I had 5 little sisters. Memories of being engaged in kindergarten and then getting mad because he kissed me while I was trying to draw. Summer was spent riding bikes and playing basketball with my neighbors. Summer was spent waiting for my Pennsylvania cousins to get to Grandma's and then giggling and all of us talking at once trying to get caught up on the half a year's news. Summer was spent building rafts with my friends and having them float for just a few minutes before we sank into the creek. Summer meant going to the airport and watching the airplanes land and eating ice cream cones, because that was my dad's idea of fun. Summer was spent sitting in my treehouse and reading books. Hundreds and hundreds of books. Fall brought back-to-school shopping and shoes that my grandma would buy for me, and I would be polite and pretend to like them. Fall was the time I would wait for a big wind to come up, and then I would run out in the middle of the yard to feel all the leaves falling down around me and on top of me, and I would pretend I was in a wild, violent storm. Fall brought the excitement of going back to school, whispering with my friends and planning slumber parties. Fall was Halloween and dreading bobbing for apples, because I was never successful at capturing an apple, and it always made Linda Locke's nose bleed. Fall brought the Dark County Fair and having to choose between the pony rides and the Ferris wheel. Winter was filled with the hope of hearing your school's name on the cancellation list. Winter was filled with days of hooking up my German Shepherd to the sled and then holding on for dear life while he ran swiftly down the hill. Of waiting for the no skating sign to be removed so we could glide across the lake at the Inglewood Reserve. Winter was filled with mugs of hot chocolate and the smell of bean soup simmering on the stove. Winter was filled with fuzzy jammies made by my great Aunt June, who never thought I ate enough. Winter was filled with cuddling under blankets and reading books. Hundreds and hundreds of books. Winter was Christmas at Grandma's, eating warm cinnamon rolls, sitting beside Pennsylvania cousins, listening to the laughter of my aunts and uncles, and stockings filled with brand new markers or colored pencils from my grandpa. Spring days were best, because in my childhood spring days were breezy and warm, with just a hint of the hotness that summer would bring. Winter coats would put away and light jackets would come out. Spring days were best because I would become reacquainted with my swing, pushing myself up as high as I could, feeling as if I were flying. Spring days were best because the farmer would leave his tractor in the field, and I would sit on the tires pretending it was my horse. Spring days were best because warm light rains would fall, and I would run down the road in the showers and splash in the puddles. Spring days were best because I would fill up the kitchen table with vases of morning glories, and I could smell the promise of summer in the air. Childhood days seem so far away, and yet the memories are still so vivid. When I close my eyes, I can hear the laughter of my friends and smell the chocolate chip cookies in the oven. If given a choice, which do I pick? Return to those days of feeling content and safe, where things never seemed to change and Rubik's Cube was the only thing that needed solving? Or do I stay in these days where responsibility always lurks, stress is always knocking, problems are always needed solving? Needless to say, I couldn't give up my experiences of today. The memories of my 3 kids are making of their own childhood, the beautiful friendships of adult friends, and the love and support shown to me by my husband of 23 years. I couldn't give up the satisfaction of succeeding during difficult times or the opportunity to receive my master's degree beside my daughter. So here I lay to rest my childhood, full of laughter, broken bones, outdoor play, and hundreds of books, to embrace today, full of a new kind of laughter, my kids' broken bones, lots of studying, and still hundreds and hundreds of books.